Boom. I think we are live. And bam. What's good, guys? I think we live. Let me make sure.
Let's go.
Yep.
Yeah, it says 7:50.
Yep. We live.
We live. What's up, everybody? What's up, fellas? How y'all week been?
It's been good. It's been good.
But it's still what happened to your video. Here we go. Here we go. I see you. I see you.
It's been real good,
It's a lot of great news out there
man.
this week,
hmm
depending on how you looking at it.
Oh man. Oh
I feel like
man.
it's a lot of fear mongering, but there's also a lot of
Yeah, true indeed.
greatness
True
that's
indeed.
happening.
Yes. Yes. Welcome. Listen, man. We got to do the welcome me too. Welcome to 3D Learning.x. You know what I'm saying? This is the Three King Crypto King podcast.
Yeah, let's get it.
You know what I'm saying? Three Kings in the
Three King Crypto. Three Kings
Three
Crypto.
King
Three
Crypto.
Kings Crypto, love it. So this is the Three Kings Crypto podcast, YouTube channel, and we about to actually get into it. Talk about a little bit of everything today. And this is a place where you can come and get your information, learn, and what I'm saying, just educate or upgrade your game, your crypto game. Uh, and on that note, I hear my grandmother and granddaughter in the background.
Yeah, she here. She here. Say hi, Luna.
Peace. Watch this. Watch this. Say XR. Say XRP.
Can you say XRP? Good job. She just had an exciting time at the zoo yesterday. Got to see animals for the first time.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah, that's Poppy.
That's good stuff.
That's
peace.
Poppy and Mr. Still. Can you say Mr. Still? Say hi, Mr. Still. All right. Oh, don't play. It's all right.
So tonight we're gonna be discussing a lot of different things. Still's gonna go into this is part two. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna go into it. Still talk to us. Give us a little rundown of what we're gonna talk to about. What you're gonna talk about tonight. You freezing up.
Oh, absolutely. Slap. We're going to get into who I am.
Mr.
Am I
Still,
freezing?
yeah, you froze up a little bit there.
Go ahead, repeat it.
Okay. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. Can you hear me now, Slap?
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Basically, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes about these CBDCs, which are central bank digital currencies, and how they're going to affect us as a whole, especially those who don't know. But it's going to affect more of the middle class than anything. There's going to come a time, and it's going to slowly but surely come through, where you're going to start seeing things take over or getting taken over by AIs. And we're going to look at it to say, wow, like that's amazing. But at the same time, where are the jobs going for the middle class people or even the lower middle class? These AIs are designed to take over at least 40% of the world's jobs within the next 10 years. Now, don't think it's going to happen in 10 years. Think about it happening right now, because there are some places that are affected by it right now. You know what I mean? That's taking jobs away that we're not even paying attention to. And we got a couple of videos about that. But also the chair, of the Fed, Jerome Powell, he's also stating that. He stated it in 2021 that they have enough AIs to take over the whole middle class, from everything like painting, what I mean, chauffeuring, chefs, anything that you can think of. They have AIs for it. Now, when you see the AIs, don't think that they won't take over, because it's almost like when you see the AIs of today, it's almost like looking at Atari. Remember how Atari was back then, right? The joystick and all that. Now you got what? The metaverse. And you play games in there. It only gets better. It's only going to get better. So,
exactly.
If there's any questions that you had,
I'm gonna go ahead and start. So, as far as questions go, what is a CBDC for those who don't understand? Can you break it down to like the lowest form of communication for us? Slow it down a little bit.
I got you. I got you. A central bank digital currency is going to be a CBDC is basically called a central bank digital currency. So
Okay.
it's basically saying what it is. The banks are going to own it, right? So what they're going to do is there's going to be something called Fed Now. Look up
That's what
Fed
we've been
Now.
talking about us coming up in July, right?
Absolutely. It will behoove you to look up Fed Now. Very important. It will behoove you to look up Fed Now. So when you look up Fed Now, what's going to happen is there's going to be CBDCs for each bank, right? Each bank is going to have its own CBDC. If you belong to that bank, right, and you're out of a job, like to say an AI took your job, for instance, they'll say, well, we'll give you like $37,000 or something like that, since your job is gone. You're going to be like, oh, that's cool. That's great. That's fine. I'll take 37. Even if somebody like Slap, if you had a job for the business that you're creating and you told somebody like, well, I'll give you 40 to work for me. Do you think they'll do it if they're getting 37? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So everyone's going to have a certain wallet, right? They're going to have a wallet with the bank that they belong to. And this CBDC is going to go into your account every month. Now, here's the kicker. If you get caught doing anything out of the ordinary, just say you got a number over your head and they can see it. It's like an all-seeing eye, right? If you get caught jaywalking or anything like that, boom, they take that out of your CBDC for that week. So if you were getting $800 a week, right? They'll take $200 away. If you bought something that was like, if you bought too much of something, like that would hurt the environment, they would take that away from you as well. There's a lot of the things that come with it. So it's almost like you got to, if you're speeding, anything, man, that will come out of that CBDC. So yeah, the downside of that is that you're being watched all the time. And a lot of people say that won't happen in America. Well, we usually follow London, and London is doing it.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Aren't they kicking it out like currently?
Yes, London. I forgot Christine Lagarde. You know what I mean? She's a big wig in London with the banks and everything, and she said that that's what they're implementing, and they're supposed to be just as free as us, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to think about. Now, freedom is having your own investment. And that's why I'm saying like the shock and awe of it all is like you can avoid it by getting into the proper cryptocurrencies. Mine personally are the X coins. And I'm not saying that's the end all cure all for everyone. But I'm just crazy enough to believe in those 3 coins because I've studied them for so long. You know what I mean? But there are others. There are others that will make it. But understand, how many coins are there, Somali? About 21,000?
There's so many different coins. There's a new coin every week, it seems like.
Every week. 95% of them will not make it when regulations come. Believe me. So if you're into a meme coin, get your money now because it won't be there for long. Everything with a utility case will be left over after regulations come.
Understood.
This Pepe coin is all in the news. I'm sorry, I gotta bring it up when you said the meme.
Yeah.
It's all over. Yeah. I think I jumped on the bandwagon. I might have jumped a little too late, but it's there, and it's one of those things that, you know what I'm saying, they're very big gambles, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of people are making money on these things. I'm seeing people making millions of dollars on these things, and it's really about timing, I guess. So the meme coins.
Well, meme coins, absolutely, it's about timing, and I don't condone it at all. I mean, I'm just not that type of person. I'm a hodler.
Yes.
But kudos to those who like, get it, because you got to think about it. If you want to realize how important the XRP is, okay? XRP is in a court case to try and save the whole crypto industry as we speak, right?
Yes.
They took it off of almost all of the exchanges except for like 2, I believe. Now check this out. They're in a court case trying to save all of crypto. Look up their utility case on what they're going to do in the future. But they just added Pepe Coin to Coinbase.
Ain't that crazy?
Think about that.
That's absolutely insane.
They added a meme coin to Coinbase. They don't want you to have it. It's just that simple. You know what I mean?
If Pepe could get on Coinbase.
Yeah, and they won't put XRP back on.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, they said all the platforms.
Yes,
isn't Coinbase in a legal situation right now with the SEC as well?
And guess who's helping them with it? Guess who's teaming up with them to help them? Ripple. But they still won't put it on. There's a reason for that, and I think this is the thing. The world is a stage, bro, because I think Ripple knows that they don't want that out to retailers as well. They don't want that going out to retailers. They want that going to industries. They want that going to businesses, banks, professional businesses, things of that sort. Now, everybody's saying when the court case is over, it's going to go back onto like Coinbase and all the other places. No, it's not. I personally believe that it won't, because I think Goldman Sachs, Bank of America,
JP Morgan,
Citibank, JP Morgan wants you to come to them, not an exchange. It's too easy.
That's why they welling up all the funds that's available.
And that's why everybody else is going overseas too, because they shutting down these exchanges, baby. You know what I mean? They want them going overseas. So the only people that America has to deal with is people like JP Morgan and the top banks. Things like that. So yeah, that's what's going on, man.
That's wild, man. That's wild.
Yes, sir.
So it's like all the stuff that we're talking about, this is stuff that you definitely want to pay attention to. You know what I'm saying? Each one of these coins, they have like a I want to say there's a use for them. Even the meme coins, and it's like these are like, I want to say these use cases that they have. It's not like real use cases, but the use case for that meme coin is really just a dump and pump. Pump
and dump.
Yep, that's all it is.
Yeah. And you know what?
And if you know the pump and dump game, then that's cool. But if you
can
don't,
make some good money off of that.
Yeah, if you don't know it, then you need to stay away from it. But that's for those people. So there's just a get in where you fit in. I want to say for all the coins, it's just knowing and doing your due diligence and doing your research. But
also too, keep in mind with that pump and dump mentality. Like, I mean, we all seen the 2020 retail investor GameStop thing that happened with that. And like, keep in mind that was just that for real is an example of what could happen to retail investors. Like at any time, you see what they did was, for those of you who don't know, is a bunch of people decided as a conglomerate to keep investing and pumping into GameStop, into their stock. So that was raising the value really high, pumping and dumping. So basically, the whole point of it was to get out, basically to beat the hedges. The hedges are basically shortened. They're saying that this stock is going to go down because the trend of it is to go down. So basically, they're bidding that it goes down. And so what happens is the people are trying to beat the hedge. So they're trying to take the hedge's money. If they lose their bid, then basically they get their payout. So they're basically trying to push it up, and they're betting on the upward trend. They're putting calls on it. So then it's like what ends up happening is the bank was going to lose so much billions of dollars to retail investors, not even big time funds and hedges that are like running this game. So they basically would have toppled all big banking industries. So what they did was they had Robinhood, which was the primary like retail investing like utility at the time, exchange at the time. They made them stop investors from picking their stock. So they forcefully stopped them from being able to buy, being able to sell at a specific time. So people that weren't able to sell on the hype or weren't able to move their funds from there, they end up ultimately losing so much fun once that went into effect, because then the stock came crashing back down to where it was actually supposed to be. So there were people that made good chunks of money that had the good timing, had the foresight, but there was a lot of people that lost a lot of money at that time. So when you talking about pump and dump with these like meme coins, you got to be very very careful in making that move, because there's a lot of risk and a lot of volatility that's involved in that.
And then you know what? And there's good and bad to that as well. Like you said,
Peace,
Tabali.
Born. Peace.
Yo, what's up,
Peace,
Boom?
y'all. Peace.
But
I just got done working. My bad, y'all.
it's all right, man. But there's good and bad to that. It's like the SEC jumped in now, right? And the only reason why that they froze it, why? Is because the institutions were losing money.
Exactly.
That's why they froze Robinhood. Everybody wanted to get their money out when it was going up because they bet against the hedge like that. But it was like, nah, you can't take these institutions' money. Some of y'all want to make some bread before we stop this, before we find out what's happening and we stop it. But once we freeze it, y'all done. Like if you left out, you just left out, because these people got to keep their money. Now the SEC comes in saying it's better for us to watch your money, retail investors. But you guys are in bed with Goldman Sachs.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are in bed with the banks. So how are you saying what's better for us? Because if we go to a bank right now, some people can't even get their money out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got to go both ways, man. It's got to go
And
both
you're
ways.
only insured up to a certain amount of money within your bank. So that's another thing too.
Yes.
Like, kind of thinking like it's the bank is the utmost security, but if you read the bylaws and the clauses that you're signing when you go sign up for that bank, they're literally only insuring you up to a specific number depending on the bank.
Yep, absolutely. Do we have any questions on the for anybody that's watching?
Nope.
Nah, no questions. Just XRP, XRP to the moon. Just affirmations.
That might be my man Easy E with that.
Affirmations up in there. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's a lot of like affirmations. It's like a lot of people who it's an army out here of XRP.
Yes, indeed.
You know
yes, indeed. But like I said,
Mr.
who's ever watching right now, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. No question is a stupid question, because you got to be involved. We need some more heads into this space, man. You know, especially our people at home. What's that?
I can ask a question right quick for everybody to build on right quick. Because I heard y'all talking about meme coins, and like there is, like you said, there's a good and a bad side of it. But like, what do you think is like the point which is good to where people can like actually make that point in which the wealth gap is being closed and there is opportunity towards where people who do get liquidated because the liquidity is gone and now that meme coin is gone.
You just said the good and the bad.
That's a fact. I mean, in all actuality, you did. But I would
said it
like
because
I would say like this real quick, and I'm gonna let you build with more knowledge on that, Mr. Steele. But look, so let's look at hey, Mr. J, what was the thing called that we were putting the susus, right? Yeah. So you put if everybody's in accordance with the susu, right, and everybody's getting paid off, right, then we're all putting our funds together and we're building really quickly and efficiently, right? But if it all it takes is that one or two people to mess up the susu, and then now we all done. You see what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like that. When you're sitting there pumping all this money in there, it's good when it's good. But then as soon as that liquidity is up, it's bad, because then it's like y'all can't do nothing no more. There's no more pumping up the value no more. And then when it's done, it's done. And if you don't get out at the right time, it's over.
So do you think there should be a cap on liquidity that can be entered at per instance?
Well, you know what? This is the thing, Born. The SEC is going to get rid of all meme coins. So that's their whole thing. They're saying we're looking out for the investor. We're looking out for the retail investor. And these pump and dump coins aren't good for the investor because once they go bad, it goes bad for everyone. But that's the same as the bank. What if there's a bank running? You know, like
those are only on centralized exchanges. Like so, like when you dealing with decentralized exchanges, like honestly, there can be no regulation due to the fact that it is decentralized and it's not under centralized authority. I mean, so it's like, what's the point where like the centralized authority would be like, okay, like you can as much money as you want there, but like, or you can put in as much money as you want in there, but like, what can you take out per instance due to regulation? You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was saying about as far as like the centralized exchanges and things like that. They're trying to ship those overseas. Mm-hmm. They want them to go overseas. And what they want is for people like us, once regulations come in, to end up going to banks for our cryptos. You know, and when you go to banks, you can look this up now. There's a test that you can take now to be a, what is it called? What kind of investor is that? When you got more than $1 million in the bank? Man, why did that just slip my mind? But there's a test that you can take to become this type of investor now. You know what I'm saying? And be involved with the bank. So they're giving you opportunity with the banks to get in. But believe me, that test is going to be hard as hell. So you're going to be going to the bank asking for something for your retirement if you're still working and not being on CBDCs, you know. And you're
going to say AI though that can help you with that test, that can help you with that knowledge base. I mean, and fill that gap of knowledge. So it's like it's not as hard to pass a hard test. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it depends on what kind of setting they put you in. That's number one. You get what I'm saying? No, you take this test and they say no phones, no electronics, and no this and no that, and you in there taking the test.
I mean, you can. I feel like that's 100% true. It's like, what if they don't make you sit into a room where they're watching you, or like, what if you are more than likely it's going to be something that you can do online at home. So it's like you can always have your phone on the side.
So they're going to corner you like an ACT, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, to take those tests.
But then what happens when like we say, okay, we don't want that test, we'll make a whole different test that can be passing the same standards and the same requirements or prerequisites.
Well, the prerequisites and everything is going to belong to them. It's going to belong to the government. So like I said, from a DeFi standpoint, what they're trying to do is ship that overseas. America's greedy, right? So anything that you can get for free and anything like that, they're trying to get that out of here so you can go to the big boys. So you can go to the banks. What's it called? Man, what kind of investor is that?
You seen, Mr. J, you showed me that video.
Erling, if you're watching, man, Erling, what kind of investor is that?
He ain't put it in the chat yet. Oh, wait, hold on.
I forgot what it was.
Go ahead, Smalley.
Oh, he didn't put it in the chat, but what I was going to say is, Mr. J, you had showed me the video of Gensler getting chewed out by some of the Senate. Ooh. And they had actually mentioned that, like, hey, you're literally sending the business of crypto, the currency overseas. This is American-made business.
Yeah, they want it out of here.
Exactly.
They want anything that's easy to get out of here. They want you to go to the banks.
And then the decentralized exchanges will still be able to exchange with those overseas centralized authorities.
Oh, so absolutely. Absolutely, they will. Absolutely, they will.
There's no actual like cap or like regulation to it because there's always been a workaround or a way to do it the other way. But it's like, then it's going to come to a point where we say we don't approve of this, we don't need or want it. I don't think we're doing this pretty much confining ourselves to something that's not beneficial towards the masses, rather it is beneficial towards the centralized authority, which we don't want. You know what I mean?
Which we don't want, right? But this is the thing. People that aren't educated on this, in particular the older people, they're going to succumb to it. Like, let's put it absolutely. Like, even the people that are our age or younger that aren't watching this, they're just going to see something on television where they say, hey, man, you know, my stuff gets to my cousin faster. He gets it right now. This is happening. Blah, blah, blah. What's going on with Born in these NFTs and everything? And by the time that they want to get into it, it's too late. It's almost like when PlayStation came out. We loved PlayStation and we played it. By the time we played it, though, all the regulations and everything was there for PlayStation, and everybody made their money already.
Mm-hmm.
We just sitting there playing the game. So right now, before the game even start, with these cryptos and everything, people like us and the people that we're trying to tell need to invest in some way, shape, or form, I do believe. Not financial advice, but
NFA for sure. Just entertainment.
Entertainment.
I mean,
is what it is.
But to take it to your point too, like, I mean, you got to think of where we're at as a nation as well. Like, going into like July, we aren't going to be able to pay our debts right now. That's what they're saying. That's what the government is telling us right now. This is the first time in American history that we're not going to be able to pay our debts or pay a portion of our Social Security, pay out for Medicare and stuff like that. They're telling us to our face right now that this is the first time coming up in July we're not going to be able to do it. So the question is that one, like you were saying, is going to affect the elders. It's going to affect a lot of people who are on disability, a lot of people who don't have the necessary capability to go out there and work an everyday job. And then how is that going to affect us who are actually out there working, who's paying taxes and stuff like that, especially with inflation going up? Like, all these things are factors. And it's like, so what is the solution? They're telling us what's going to happen, but the question is what is the solution?
Decentralization.
Exactly.
You know what? That should be the solution, but
that's
here they won't think it's
that's a solution, but that's not the solution that they're going to give spoon feed you.
Correct.
No, absolutely. Like, people are going to take being spoon fed over a lot of things, man. It's like, I don't know. And that's called credited investor. It's called a credited investor. In order to be a credited investor, they make you take that test. But Bourne has a hell of a point. Decentralization is everything. But decentralization will also take down banks. And they will come out with their tanks and guns and everything before they let you do that. That's here in America. That's just how they are, man. But everything is problem, reaction, solution. Now, it's funny that you said that for July, right? Because think about this with people. Okay, say you got older people that are, kind of ill, right? But they're getting taken care of. But once that kicks in July, they can't afford to take care of that nurse or anything that comes to the house, right? So if that's your parents, what are you going to do with your job? Right? Especially like if it was my parents or something like that, God bless them, they're not here now, but I'm in Florida. And if something happened to them where they can't get their security and everything, I'm probably going to have to leave my gig and go take care of them because I'm the healthy one, correct?
Yep.
So that's another person losing a job. So that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So the reaction is, what am I going to eat? How am I going to take care of my family? Blah, blah, blah. And then the government comes in and says, we got these CBDCs, baby.
All right. I feel
like
that's when decentralization steps into like reality, to where like, okay, now we have our own welfare, our own Medicare systems based off of decentralized consensus. So everyone's saying, okay, we want this and we'll invest in this, and this with the money that we put into this from our everyday. Say we do still collect CBDCs and we invest our CBDCs exchanged into these protocols that actually facilitate Medicare and welfare and things like that. That's
the reason why the reason why you can't do that with CBDCs is because they belong to the bank, and if they find out that you're doing that, they'll cut you off.
But then that's when we say fuck them. Excuse my language. Excuse my language.
It's to that point. Like, they can, like, if you look over in China right now, if you jaywalk or anything like that, and you're on CBDCs, they take the fine out before they even get it to you. If you're buying anything that's bad for the environment, they cut you off from buying that.
Or something for you.
Hey, we got a question, guys.
Go.
Okay, come with it.
Got a question. Erling Santa Maria. Is CBDCs programmable digital money by the Fed, And is it traceable for every transaction? That's it.
Not by
Both,
us.
both,
Both.
both.
It's
It's tricky.
programmable and all that for sure, but like it's traceable by their own private ledger, which we're very already used to a public ledger to where everyone can see what happened at all
You can
times.
see, but the private ledger controls everything. There's a mechanism that can take you away from things. Like our dollar right now, once we get it, it's just ours, right? But once it's digital and we're doing things that we can't, the government controls that. So they say, okay, no 200 for you, and you know what I'm saying? You can't buy any meat this week.
Mm.
And if you put this on a decentralized exchange, we're going to know about that too. And you might not get a check this month. And they're going to say this: you have to spend it all before they give you the check again, or they just take it. So if you got $200 left, right? They take that joker and just put it with the next, but it won't be added on. It'll just be 800 again. So you lost too.
So at that point, is it still democracy? Is it still the same type of state, or are
No,
we now stepping into a
no,
communist, socialist
bam,
environment?
bow,
But
bow.
and
There
that's
it
why you see, like when you look at the news and who's actually opposing these things, it's actually the right wing. You know what I'm saying? They're the ones who's actually opposing these policies that are trying to be made.
is. Yeah. Now, let me ask you this, Symbolic. Do you have that video about the CBDCs?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick.
Because
Let me queue it up and then I'll share
goes into a
screen.
perfect setting right now. If everybody could put their stuff on mute.
And Jay, when he does play, you just jump to the screen because you're the one streaming, so it'll be on large screen on your screen.
There you go. Let me see. Get it. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I don't have any volume on my end.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. It's playing over
None on mine either.
I believe the stream can hear it, but we can't hear it.
Let me see.
Is that correct?
That might be it. That might be the case.
Hey, Early, let me know if you can hear that, brother. And they will come out with their tanks and guns and everything. But Molly, do you have that video about the CBDCs?
Yeah, it's not. We can't hear the volume. Yeah, there's no volume on it. Yeah, it's no volume. Yeah, I can't. We can't hear it. That's what. So let me see. No, I can't do that over here. Let me see. Um, Sabali's playing. Yeah, we just can't hear any volume from him. I see that in the chats. They said there's nothing. Erling said that. So it's like hard to let me see. Yeah, we can't hear anything. Uh
Not even a stream.
no, I can't say it's not here. That's what Erling said. There's nothing being played.
Okay.
Okay. Basically, what that was talking about right there with Tucker Carlson was it's the what you was where's my guy at? Where's Bourne? It's basically what Bourne was talking about. Is this the end of democracy? Well, that is the bad news about CBDCs, my man. The government is going to control the money that's in your hand, and they're going to be able to take away a lot of rights that you thought that you had before because of that. And as you can see at the bottom of that screen, it said CBDCs are the end of freedom. Now, like I said, I didn't think it was going to happen here because this is quote unquote the land of the free. But like I said, if Christine Lagarde is making it to the point that they're doing it in London, we usually follow suit. Now, if China was the only place doing it, I would say that's China and China alone. But when she gave that announcement that they were going to do the same thing, more than likely, that's going to be us as well, man.
She said they got $1,000 spending limit. If they spend over $1,000, they could stop the transaction. That's absolutely insane.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep. So that's why I advise people for like the freedom coins, man. You better get them freedom coins because if not, you're going to be part of that system. And I don't like being controlled like that.
And again, what are the freedom coins?
Man, take your pick. But my personal ones are XRP, XLM, and XTC. But there are plenty of other ones that's going to make it through all of this, man. There really are. Whatever has a major use case, it's going to make it. Ethereum is going to make it. You understand what I'm saying? As much as people try to talk crazy about Ethereum or whatever it is, it's going to make it. Bitcoin's going to make it. Bitcoin's going to be a store of value. You know what I'm saying? The 3Xs are going to make it. Use case, if it's something that's going to change the world, if it's a use case or a utility case that'll change the world, it'll make it. And I honestly think that's why a lot of these things are going to court now. To get them out the way to make it. Because think about what happened with what's his name again? Elon Musk. Didn't he go to court? Didn't Bill Gates go to court? Didn't Amazon go to court? Did Microsoft go?
But then what happened?
What I mean?
They still won. They're still standing tall, and it's only because, like, one, like you said, they have use case. They have something that provides literally advancement of technology, advancement of let's say even society to the entire country, let alone like even parts of the world that, let's say, like easy mode, like it was everybody's favorite thing, being able to receive and send money from anybody anywhere instantly. It's an entirely different structure than what we have now, and yeah, they don't want that. We have the regulation of that. We have the consensus together to say that we have the power over it. And well, I guess one thing that our government doesn't like is people having power, I guess.
Yes. No government does. That's why I said they'll bring out their tanks and guns before they even like you said, you were on to something. Like, I just wanted to make a point about the sending and receiving money as far as like XRP goes, because you talked about rails, right? Now, I look at Ripple, the company, where their native token is XRP. I look at them as like putting up the new rails across country, for the borders, for like cross-border payments. I look at them as taking away the old rails of Swift and putting in new ones that's going to make things faster, right? But what's the train? The train is the native token that's holding your money. So the rails are Ripple with the software that they're adding, but their native token is XRP. Call that the train that's on the tracks, right? And that train can go from here to there in 3 to 5 seconds with all of your stuff, just like data. It's catching up with data now. To make it simple, Money is just simply catching up with data. And they also updated the data to where it's like, Born, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about when I say this. Like if you get something from Western Union, it just got like a little Pony Express letter on it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Money for Born, $50, saying things like that. But now they've updated it to the point where, like, say you go overseas, Born, right? And you go overseas and you're like, oh man, I forgot my USB for the meeting and all this. Well, they can send that. They can send the video on that software where you could download it, go to the meeting, and no worries. So, there's things that they're doing with the data as well, but they're advancing everything. And it's a slow ride. So a lot of people don't believe in it because it's a slow ride to the top. You know what I mean?
It's like the only way to like valuable is if data is open source. So like when data is not open source, then it has value, but it's only intrinsically to whoever the data is being shared to. So it's like
right.
That's only a collective, and it's not like the entirety of the masses. So like when they take this data, which is like even money now, sadly,
yeah, true indeed. Yep.
When it's not collectively handled, and when people can't make their own input, can't build on top of it, then the only people that can do it is a selective collective. Then what do we have to do but to make our own way, which we have the availability to do because we can create our own data. Yeah.
I see as a people, I can see that, but man, dude, that's gonna be like the way that they got everything that they're trying to put these rails up against that and DeFi and everything. Man, that's gonna be tough, bro.
It's sad. Gladly, it's not that tough because we already have our own train tracks. And then in this system, the train tracks is more or less the blockchain. Then the train itself is the currency instead of, because that's what's fluid. That's what's moving is the currency.
The currency is moving,
and we are the occupants, the people that's riding that currency. We're getting off at a stop and we're getting back in. Nigga, where we want to go.
Yeah, from an independent standpoint, though, Born, like the banks, it's almost like how they were finding people that was mining bitcoins. I remember like it was wintertime. There was this crew, like they was mining Bitcoin in the projects, right? How did they find them? They knew that they were there because their their electric bill was so high, right? But also it was snowing outside, right? And there was this big patch of like no snow on a roof because that room was so hot. You understand what I'm saying? There's a big patch, so they got caught with that. You understand what I'm saying? I just think in America, and I think in a lot of countries in general, it's like the banks are fighting the people right now.
Oh yeah,
it's the banks versus the people, and this is the thing: 1% of the whole world is in crypto. So how many are going to know about DeFi by the time regulations and everything hit? And who's going to even pay attention to it?
I mean, they're not even paying attention already, man. That's the sad part. That's why there's people like us having this conversation, because we're trying to enlighten the masses on what's going on. But it's one of those things that it's just like social media. You remember what happened when social media, we grew up with it. We was on it immediately. We was acting like we was freaking 20 years old just to be able to get on Facebook and learn how to utilize that and socialize with our friends and stuff like that. And then it took like 5 to 10 years almost before the previous generations actually jumped on board to do it. Now you got like your mother, your grandmother on there checking in on everybody and commenting and everything like that. Or it's just one of those things. But why did it take that long for them to access it? And then it's still difficult for them to access at that. So we're like, you look at like us, we've been studying this thing because we missed the first wave, right? So we're on this new wave of trying to make sure we're ahead of the curve. But there's going to be so many people that it's so hard for them to actually even understand the language of this new curve. You see what I'm saying?
Thanks.
And they do it intentionally. I think they do it intentionally because they got so many words for one thing. You understand what I'm saying? Like you talk about on-demand liquidity or interledger protocol and blah, blah, blah. And a lot of that is like, you can round that up for one thing. But if you say that to somebody, like say if I went on the block and tried to tell somebody about interledger protocol, on-demand liquidity, right off the rip, they'd be like, hey, man, look, bro. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. So I try to like we do on this
here. How far is it going to get me? I got this 100 right here. How far is it going to get me? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. And for us, we try to break it down to the simplest form on here, so people can understand. That's why it's good to ask questions, because, like I said, there's no question that's a dumb question on this program, man. Because we're trying to get people, like you said, Sabali and Forth, enlightened.
And speaking of that, the videos that you were talking about, put them in the comments for people to actually be able to see that. Because we had a couple, we had some difficulties, but we'll put those videos inside the comments, and then you can do your research and watch those videos. Just wanted to say that.
Definitely will. I definitely will. After it's over with, yeah.
But
how much time we working with?
Let's see. We almost there. We want to definitely basically talk about next week. What we're gonna be talking about next week is the project.
The
project that he's working with. And that's something. Did we talk to you about that before?
No.
Hey, Born, you need to be here next week, though, man. You need to be here next week, because we're gonna need your input on these NFTs and everything, because we got a special guest, Sylvia Crawley, coming on, and she'll be featuring her NFTs and how she came about, and you know what I mean? So we're going to need your expertise on that while I fall back and ask questions myself.
No problem.
I'd love to hear more about
so that should be cool. I'm telling you. Absolutely, Born. So we got the pleasure not to only know, this lady that we grew up with, beautiful lady, heart and soul, Sylvia Crawley, who happens to be the first professional slam dunk champion. You know what I mean? Mrs. Blindfold. So she has a store in the metaverse. Am I right, more? Slap?
Yes. Yeah.
Am I right about that? Can you elaborate on that?
She has a couple metaverses. She has a boutique. She has the Slam Lounge. And she has a couple other places that you can actually visit. And we'll talk about that next week as well. We got about 10 minutes left. And then boy.
So, but you guys, but at the same time, Slap, you guys also helped her with her project as well, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Yeah,
so that's why we're going to need you here next week, and I'm going to just fall back, man, and ask questions myself. That ought to be cool.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait.
So, Sylvia, if you're listening, can't wait to have you here, baby. Can't wait to have you
here. Yes.
Yeah, facts, man.
That's going to be
what you guys do for.
Yeah, that's going to be powerful. It's going to be powerful.
Yeah, what you guys do, man, it's a skill set that needs to be had. It needs to be learned, because especially with this AI wave that's coming, man, we want to make sure that we are capitalizing off of learning how to interact with these new systems, so that way we don't get left behind and we don't get subject to needing a CBDC. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I agree completely.
Right. So, do your research on them freedom coins. Get them coins, man. Just do the research. All the stuff that we're talking about, Google that. Research it. You know what I'm saying? This whole channel, what this is about, is really about educating you guys, helping you understand this paradigm shift, because we're shifting paradigms for real. And, those people who don't get the shift and don't get an understanding of this, going to get left behind. We said it last week and the week before that. You're either going to be at the table, are you going to be serving the table? We're going to keep saying that.
Bever?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the truth, Slap.
Anything else?
Well, the only thing I can say is when it comes to things like this, when you go and dive in, you're going to feel like you're not knowing what you're doing. Okay? I felt like that when I first started. But you got to think about the way that you feel. Because like I remember before I got into this, and even while I was into it, I don't know if you guys heard people saying this on Facebook or people just talk to you and say something like, you know what, I feel something changing, something different. Something's about to happen, or something like they feel that energy of change, but they just don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And in my heart and soul, I honestly believe for me, like I found what I think it is, what I believe it is. This paradigm shift that's happening, because you got to think about this. Since 2020, there's a lot of things that's not going to be the same anymore.
That's a fact.
You know, that changed already. And slowly but surely, you're not going to, it's just like I said before, when phone booths left, you really didn't pay attention to them things gone. You just turned around and they were gone. You know what I mean? VCR tapes gone. Everything that you thought would be here forever is gone. So there's going to be a change.
VCR tape replacements gone.
Gone. And think about this, Sabali. What about the 100 years?
The 100 year shift of money. Gone. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's been about 100 years now. So that shift naturally happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this time it's going to digital.
Who moved my cheese? The cheese is changing. So who moved my cheese? The cheese is now digital. It's becoming digital, and it's about, you know what I'm saying, you don't want to become like the dinosaur. Please read this book, Who Moved My Cheese, by Spencer Johnson, and it really helps people get ready for that change that's occurring right now.
And also, if you're feeling what we're talking about, a lot of people do this when they get off of here. They'll say, "Man, I feel that. I feel that." But if you feel it, get into it, and don't pay attention to nobody but yourself, because, like I said, those jar shakers are out there. They'll get you out of this. Jar shakers are out there, man. They'll get you out of this in a heartbeat, man. And you started to catch it a little bit, and then you got that one negative person that didn't pick up a word or a book or anything that could take you out of this, man. So just believe in yourself. You know what I'm saying, Born?
That's a fact. Do your due diligence, man. Do your due diligence. Yeah. And at the end of the day, too, like you said, it might be intimidating at first for you to learn what's going on and for you to like really take in that information. But the thing is if you were studying for anything in life, your first day on the job, it was not easy. You know what I'm saying? If it was a job that was challenging to you that you had never been a part of, you were lucky enough to get that job, but you kept working towards it till you start moving up in the ranks to be able to do something, you know what I'm saying, that was beneficial to that specific business that you were working with. It's all the same thing here. Like just learning languages. We all started as babies. We all learned how to walk, how to crawl, and everything like that. That stuff wasn't easy, but over time it gets easier. So you just got to keep committing your time and your focus, and every day sharpen your iron, man. That's what it's all about.
There it is. Repetition. You know iron sharpens iron, and that's what we're doing right here. Yeah, like Born. I love the way that Born was coming at me today, man. I was like, go ahead, Born. Doing, man. What you try to do to me, man? But I loved it because like you said, it's iron sharpens iron. We're teaching each other because like the decentralization that he's on, I inspire for decentralization, man. I mean, and I hope that they can both work together some way. You know what I mean? But who knows what the future holds? The only thing that we can do is wait on regulations.
I know there's an intertwining, but it takes literally the big C word, consensus. It takes everybody wanting the same thing, and then it takes what is currently our authority to at least be willing to compromise with the consensus of the people. So
come on.
We don't have that, and then we'll just have a big a gap of people wanting something and people needing something. Like not even just really needing it. People need to have dollar bills to be able to pay their rent, to be able to wash their cheeks, to be able to eat food. Have a roof over their house. To be able to
doctor. Their medication.
That's
come on.
So and then I think once that happens, there will be an entire paradigm shift of even health. People knowing exactly what they need to be healthy, and rejecting what they've been treated by rather than cured by. You know,
facts, major facts. Once you start enlightening yourself in one department, you don't stop. And then it also starts to, you got to start considering what are the policies of the people that you're putting into office as well.
Yeah.
Well, you got to start really paying attention to what their points are in this matter, for the simple fact that financial matters are literally the how we survive. So if you don't know what they represent or what they're voting for, what kind of policies they're trying to put into place, then you probably shouldn't be voting for that person, or you need to do more research.
Come on.
3 minutes left, if that.
Hey, I have to go. I'm gonna a little bit early, but I appreciate y'all having me here. I appreciate 3D Learning for, you know what I mean, always educating, always inspiring everybody and empowering. I appreciate Sabali for being here. I appreciate Big Steel for being here, and Jay Slap 3D Learning. You know, it's always a great time to be here. You know,
Hey man, we appreciate you, Warner.
You,
we can't wait to finally get some of your input next week, man.
Yeah, we look forward to that next week.
Make sure y'all send me the link, and I'll be here for sure. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, Born, I gotta ask you something too. So like, I'm gonna call you on Facebook, man. I gotta ask you something.
Okay, no problem.
We got 2 minutes, so if you like what you heard, if you're enjoying this content, because we need your support, subscribe, like, share. But the thing is, and even also ask questions. You know what? In the comments, ask us questions,
please.
We're about to be out. This is 3dlearning.x, and until next week, you know what I'm saying? Peace.
This was powerful, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
Definitely powerful. Appreciate y'all, man, for sure.
Yes,
every
indeed.
last one of you. Many blessings.
Peace.
Peace.